Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Zona. I'm a partner here at Mandelbaum Barrett, and I practice in the litigation department as well as healthcare litigation and white-collar and criminal defense. Here with me today is one of my partners, Andy Brosnick. Andy Brosnick is an outstanding trial attorney and litigator. And here at Mandelbaum, he is the co-chair of our personal injury department and practice group. Andy, today we want to talk a little bit about your practice and then something that's been kind of a hot news issue out in Bergen County.
Sure. So the practice itself, I've been doing for over 26 years, helping people who are injured in all walks of life as a result of the fault of somebody else. This has been true in New Jersey and throughout the New York City metropolitan area. So I pride myself on being able to help people ensure that they're properly compensated for whatever injury they experience.
Andy, yeah, so let me just take you into, recently the firm was featured, and you specifically were featured in a pretty widespread New Jersey news article in which, from my understanding, there is a municipal building out in Palisades Park, which is a town out in Bergen County in northern New Jersey, where, our New Jersey public servants, people, town administrators, police officers have been exposed to what I understand to be a severe, dangerous, and harmful environmental hazard in the administration building. Could you talk a little bit about, how exactly this came to be and then what led us to where we are today?
I was first contacted by about 10 employees of Palisades Park who all work at the Borough Municipal building, and they have been exposed to this harmful and hazardous mold. And they were having health issues, which varied from person to person. So it was respiratory issues, sinus issues, things that were affecting their day-to-day. So the first thing I did was I had them retain the office, and then we filed workers' compensation claims for all of them. So in the workers' comp court, their medical bills and treatment can be covered, and in this case, by the Palisades Park Borough. As time progressed, more and more people came forward. So these are police officers, people who work as administrators in the town, all people who are vital to the operation of Palisades Park and the borough. These are people who've been dealing with health issues now and exposure to mold for over a year. And even as we sit here today, they still are going to work on a daily basis with exposure to mold, even though they have these symptoms and health issues.
So Andy, let me stop you there. So are you telling me that Palisades Park, that municipality, has not done anything to address the issues that you've now very publicly through the media brought to their attention?
That's correct. So when we filed the workers' compensation claims, we were most interested in making sure that their health issues were addressed from a medical point of view and to alleviate any of the issues they had. So that took care of that part. But what I expected to happen is that somehow the borough would respond and ensure that they're removed from the building or remediate the building. Well, that didn't happen. So I wrote my first letter back in February of 2023, didn't get a response, filed these claims, and then more recently sent another letter to the council to see if we would get a response. And still to this day, we haven't received a single letter from Palisades Park.
And to this day, are you still being contacted by additional individuals and employees who have been kind of harmed and continue to be harmed by this condition?
Yeah, in fact, I have another meeting scheduled for tomorrow with a potential new client who works at Palisades Park. And they come in, usually about one every week or two, somebody new or additional who has medical issues and is exposed to this hazardous mold.
And notwithstanding the coverage on, I think it's NJ.com, notwithstanding any of this, we still are not hearing anything from the town council, from the individuals who, by just the nature of their position, would be in a role to actually cure this situation.
Well, it's interesting that the two of the members of the town council, who I wrote to most recently, posted a YouTube video. And they shot this video in a restaurant and discussed how they expected to fix the problem. And one of the gentlemen on the video, Councilman Park, had expressed that he has a background in HVAC issues, meaning, different air ventilation systems. Well, I looked him up, and I don't think he has any such background in that area. So when I addressed this in my letter to him, with the concern that you're saying you're going to put this into place over the course of several months, meanwhile these people are coming to work every day and continue to be exposed to this hazardous situation.
You know, Andy, I think this is a good way to dovetail into just kind of how passionately and voluminously you represent your clients. As you stated earlier, you know, you represent anybody who's been hurt or harmed that wasn't their fault. So why don't you just discuss a little bit kind of this full range representation?
Sure. Well, I've had the benefit for a long time now, since the late 90s, as a trial attorney in the courts throughout the New York City and New Jersey metro area. In this particular case, this is workers' compensation court. But sometimes the answer isn't always just from filing a lawsuit or going to court with something. It's also about finding other ways as a tool to help people, which I do pride myself on, to make sure that there's some meaningful change in their life that's been improved by my involvement and representation of them. And in this case, I think that's happening. I have other things that we can do here, which I plan to do, other than making these types of videos, but we do expect to file a court action if we're not going to get a response to this.
Yeah, and that I think shows, you know, individuals out there, if you're experiencing any sort of response or health issue that has come from not your own fault. So in this circumstance, it would be working in a building that is unsafe or a hazardous environment, then you know you have a resource here in Andy and his team in the personal injury department that are ready and willing to not only represent your interests in some sort of litigation, but kind of give you that full range representation to make sure that you are going to be taken care of moving forward. I'd encourage you that if you're experiencing that sort of situation, then you give Andy and his team a call. They're always, you know, in my experience with Andy, he's always more than willing to get in touch and make whatever accommodations are necessary. And as a partner of mine, and we actually work on some matters together that are going to court, I can attest to Andy's outstanding trial experience and his ability to not just handle PI cases, but also any sort of complex litigation that may come through. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Andy, for talking with us about this situation. And we hope that the Bergen County folks finally get their act together and do something about it so we can help our public servants.
Thank you.